Tia Porter, and this is our Erie. On today's episode, we're learning about an upcoming event to support a great cause, making some timeless jewelry, learning about Erie's inspiring arts, and ending the day with a little love just in time for Valentine's Day. Don't go anywhere because all that is happening right now on our Erie. In Erie, there's a place built on compassion, dignity, and decades of service in the community.
At St. Patrick's Haven, community meets compassion, creating a fresh start for those who need it most.
So St. Patrick's Haven is a men's homeless shelter here in Erie. We are a sponsored ministry of the Sisters of St. Joseph. However, we are our own financially independent 501c3 nonprofit. We started over 40 years ago in response to a need in our community outside of St. Patrick's Church. And that aligns with the Sisters of St. Joseph's mission of responding to the need of the day. And so what St. Patrick's Haven does is very special. We are what's called a low barrier shelter, meaning we try to remove as many obstacles as possible to get people in here and get them safe.
Removing barriers starts with something simple, how people are welcomed at the door.
When they come to St. Patrick's Haven, we don't always know what they're feeling. We can imagine what it's like to be on the streets, but I think the really important part is how they feel once they get here. When people arrive, we welcome them into our home as guests, and that term guest is intentional. We use that term as a sign of respect. And so when our guests come in, we also refer to them as Mr. Last Name, Mr. Brown, Mr. Smith. It's so great to see you.
That sense of respect shapes every interaction, creating a space where people feel valued and understood.
When our guests come here, they feel respected, they feel valued, they feel seen, and they feel heard. They're met with compassion and understanding. We meet them where they are as they come to us. And that's part of what makes St. Patrick's Haven so very special.
Respect isn't just something you say, it's something you feel. And for some, that feeling can change everything in an instant.
I remember this conversation I had early on when I first started at the shelter. A gentleman came to the door and I welcomed him in. Welcome, Mr. So-and-so. How was your day? What did you have at Emmaus Soup Kitchen for lunch? And he kind of stopped me. He looked at me deep in my eyes and he said, "You are the first person today to smile at me, to look me in my eyes and have a conversation." And I think that's just so very powerful. It definitely changed my outlook about the work that we do here. It's more than providing overnight shelter. We're providing a home for people to come into and be safe for the night.
Providing a safe place for the night is only part of the mission. St. Patrick's Haven also connects guests with essential resources and care.
We partner with agencies that can come into the shelter to provide supportive services for our guests. Things like housing assessments, getting them connected with resources. We have a mobile foot clinic that comes down to the shelter every so often, Harvest 912, that helps to make sure their feet are clean, that they have proper footwear. And we have so many dedicated volunteers that really kind of create this ministry of presence at the shelter.
It takes a community to make that level of care possible, and there's always room for more people to be a part of it.
The best way for somebody to get involved would be to reach out to me directly. You can find my information on stpatrickshaven.org. Our needs are ever changing, just as our guests are ever changing. And so the best way to support us is reaching out directly, or you can make a financial contribution that allows us to buy what we need.
One of the most exciting ways to support St. Patrick's Haven is through a community event that brings people together for a great cause.
Shamrock Showdown is a trivia competition benefiting St. Patrick's Haven. It takes place March 7th, 2026 at the Bayfront Convention Center from 5 p.m. till 9 p.m. The evening is full of action-packed fun. We have 6 rounds of fast-paced trivia. We have opportunities to buy raffle basket tickets and 50-50 tickets. We have prizes for the top 3 teams and a prize for the best dressed team.
But beyond the fun and friendly competition, the night is rooted in something much deeper.
Our meals for the evening will be a simple bagged meal, and it'll actually be the same meal that our shelter guests will have that night and they have on a regular basis. And so it's kind of a show of solidarity, that while this might be what some call a simple meal, our guests are very grateful for this, meal that we're providing.
Shamrock Showdown wouldn't be possible without the generosity of its sponsors and volunteers.
This event is not possible without all of the sponsors and people and organizations that come together to support it. Our top tier sponsors are Sisters of St. Joseph as our Platinum Irish, and then we have 2 Pot of Gold sponsors, PNC Financial Services and the Sisters of St. Joseph Mission and Ministry Foundation.
At the heart of St. Patrick's Haven is a hope for a brighter future. And when I asked Shelby what that future looks like, she shared a powerful perspective.
I hope I don't have a job. And let me explain that a little bit, because it sounds, kind of radical. If I don't have a job, that means I can close the shelter. If I can close the shelter, that means there are no homeless individuals in our community anymore. And whether that's a reality or not, it's something I hope and pray for, because I just, imagine what our community would be like if everybody is safe, if everybody has a bed, if everybody has food and feels the support of our community. That's the tomorrow that I hope to live in.
And until that day comes, St. Patrick's Haven will remain a place of safety, dignity, and care.
And we truly believe that everybody is deserving of safe, warm, and welcoming shelter, and that's what we hope to provide here.
St. Patrick's Haven is more than a shelter. It's a place of hope, healing, and second chances. To learn more, visit stpatrickshaven.org or call 814-836-4153 today. We hopped over to West 38th Street to check out a special place that's helping some of our favorite furry friends.
We're here today with Ron to learn more about ears right here in Erie. How are you today?
Hi, thank you. Thanks for coming in.
Absolutely. Tell me a little bit more about who you are and what you do here.
All right, well, I'm Ron Stager. I'm one of the co-founders of the Erie Area Rabbit Society and Rescue. Myself, along with Linda Jones, started EARS. It all started back on a cold fall Black Friday in 2013 when we met up at a car dealership looking for an abandoned rabbit. And long story short, we rescued the bunny that day named Juki, and Juki is still with Linda. And that's kind of how we all started. And from there, the need really existed in Erie. As you know, we have a lot of very good animal shelters in Erie, Orphan Angels and the Anna Shelter and Because You Care and the Humane Society. And they all do wonderful work, but they deal primarily with dogs and cats. Rabbits are the 3rd most adopted and the 3rd most surrendered pets, and there was really nobody that was focusing on them. We started out on a garage, kind of like up on Peach Street. And from very humble beginnings, we had no heat, no light, no water, but we had the love for the bunnies. Over probably the next year, we knew we needed to try to find a building, and fortunately this particular building was up for sale, or the building next door to us here, we're attached. And so we bought the building in 2015. And then we built this particular part of the building, and the building next door we refer to as the Pink Bungalow. So we have 2 buildings, and we have about 75 bunnies here. And every one of our bunnies is either abandoned, abused, or neglected. We don't deal with the breeders or anything like that. A lot of these bunnies also were rescued outside. Unfortunately, people, for various reasons, throw bunnies outside thinking that they're going to be able to just meld with the wild rabbits and will coexist. And of course, a bunny that has been taken care of inside and now all of a sudden being thrown outside to fend on their own, for the most part, within 24 to 48 hours, they will not survive. So we have a very good rescue team that goes out and rescues the bunnies, and we're pretty good at doing it. We've been doing it for a number of years. The rabbits are not easy to catch, but then we bring them in here and they get, we think, pretty darn good care. They get cleaned every single day. They get fed twice a day. They get greens every day. And I think also they get as much loving as they can get every day from our volunteers.
Tell me more about this guy that you have right here.
Okay, well right here, this is a magpie harlequin named General Pickett, which is maybe an unusual name, but I will just briefly tell you about General Pickett. We got a call 4th of July weekend back in 2021 about a whole bunch of bunnies that were abandoned out in the county. And our team went out and we actually rescued 23 adults that day, of which General Pickett was one of them. And the reason he was named, I got to name him, the General Pickett, is it just so happened, any of you that are Civil War fans, he was rescued at the exact time and the exact date that the Pickett's charge went on in July 3rd, 1863 at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's the time that he was rescued. So to me it was a natural that that had to be his name.
We just met Ron and the General, and there are over 75 bunnies here at Ears with some pretty unique names.
We have the band babies, one of which is Bon Jovi, who I'm holding here. We have his siblings, Fleetwood Mac, Zeppelin. We also have the gemstone babies, Flint, Opal, Quartz, Topaz. We have the babies that were born on St. Patrick's Day, Quinn, Jameson, Murphy. Then there's the H babies, Halo, Harlow, Huxton.
I just love your names here. Bon Jovi, I think, is great. Journey was Bon Jovi's mom?
Correct.
Okay, so Journey initially was in a foster home, is that correct?
That's correct. Any bunny that comes into the Ears organization must spend at least 3 weeks in a foster home. It's our quarantine period, so regardless of whether it's a surrender from an owner or a rescue outside, that quarantine period is very important. We obviously want it for health reasons, to protect the rest of the rabbits here at Ears, but it's also an opportunity for our foster families to observe the bunny behavior, learn a little bit more. It helps us out when the bunny does come into the rescue and is available for adoption, because now we have some insider secrets as to what that bunny is like in a home.
For Ears, that period is more than just a quarantine. It's a crucial first step in understanding each rabbit's personality and needs. But making that kind of care possible takes a lot of hands, and that's where volunteers become essential.
With volunteers here, that's something that's really needed. Can you tell me more about what type of volunteers you need?
We need volunteers, as I mentioned earlier. We clean 7 days a week, every day. So we need cleaners, and we also need feeders, because we feed them twice a day. And right now, a lot of our mornings is where we have probably our most difficult getting people. And we have some very, very good senior citizens that are here pretty much Monday, Thursday, Friday. That is pretty much a lot of senior citizens. So not just senior citizens, but those seem to be the type of people that are able to come at those hours, because that's when we clean in the morning. So, but we use a lot of high school and college students that need service hours. They come a lot, mainly in the weekends, so we can use that. We've had ROTC students from McDowell, can use that. We've had Mercyhurst students. So anybody that really loves animals, and that's pretty much when people come in, that's why they want to come here, is they just love rabbits.
If you're interested in adopting, fostering, volunteering, supporting, or just learning more, visit eriearearabbitsociety.org or call 814-838-9732. Help a bunny find their forever hoppy home today. Today, we're in the heart of Waterford, where history isn't just preserved, it's poured. Welcome to Enlisted Coffee, a cozy community haven set inside a fully restored Civil War recruitment office. At the center of it all is owner Amanda, who along with her husband saw more than an old building.
We were looking at buildings that were available in town, and we had never noticed this building before, but we saw a sign, a for sale sign out front, and it sparked our interest. We looked into it a little bit further and found out it was the recruitment center. So that really perked our interest, because we're interested in history and just smaller towns that have buildings that aren't well taken care of, and this one kind of looked sad, so it just caught our eye, and we saw the potential in it right away.
What started as curiosity quickly became a mission. Waterford is a town steeped in history, and this building was once the place where local men enlisted in the Army. But over time, that piece of history had faded from memory for most.
This town is all about history, and this was a piece of history that was really sort of forgotten and pushed under the rug. So we wanted to improve the town by making this building be what it could be and highlighting the amazing history about this building and give it the honor it deserved and the attention it deserved.
So the family rolled up their sleeves and they gutted the entire structure, hoping to uncover hidden treasures of the past.
What are we going to find? And when we gutted the entire building back, we didn't find much. It seemed like it was pretty much cleared out. However, the treasure for us was really seeing the original wallpaper, the original ceiling plaster, the laugh, the horsehair in the plaster. That was really interesting and neat to us. The more layers we pulled back, the more we could see the original structure, the original window wells and how big they were. So that was neat to see that. We thought we might find newspapers or coins or something, but all we found really was this pair of dentures in the wall. So that was the most exciting things. There were some vials of, I think, Novocaine. It used to be a dentist office. So little things like that, pottery and jars, but nothing huge.
Inside Enlisted Coffee, every corner tells a story. Much of the memorabilia comes from local families, some with ancestors who enlisted right here in this room.
There was a teacher who retired from Corey. She was a history teacher who had a lot of Civil War items. A lot of the pictures that you see are from her. The Historical Society gave me the picture of the veterans that would have walked through this building and then were invited back to dedicate the George Washington statue. So we have a photograph of those veterans. So a lot of it, people who come in who had family sign up here, they will have collected a little bit of memorabilia and they will bring that to us and allow us to display it. So I'm very grateful for all of that.
And it's that connection to the past that inspires every detail of the coffee shop, right down to what's on the menu.
We try to be very creative with our offerings and our coffee, but I will also try to pair it with a little piece of history so that people are connected to the past by also ordering something that's very modern and very desirable. I think that connection between the two really helps people realize that history is important and it's important to keep it alive, and that's one little way that we can keep it alive is to associate a drink with somebody's name or a battle or a nickname of the regiment and just give people a little piece of history with their drink.
Like the Henry Stafford, a maple vanilla latte named in honor of a local Civil War soldier whose descendant brought in his family's research.
That gentleman signed up here in this building. He served in the 83rd, was wounded, came back and served in this office when it was a provost marshal office. So his great-great-great-grandson told me about him and gave me the documentation that he had researched. So in honor of his grandfather, we named the drink after him.
And the Mud Turtle, celebrating the 83rd Regiment, nicknamed for their toughness and grit.
The Mud Turtle will be always on the menu because the 83rd signed up here. So they were nicknamed the Mud Turtle because they were always ready for battle. They would go through any terrain. They were tough, they were resilient, and it's a caramel chocolate latte.
And if coffee's not your thing, don't worry. Enlisted Coffee serves loose leaf teas in teapots, frappes, lemonades, smoothies, and plenty more. It's not just the drinks that keep people coming back.
One of the best compliments I get is when people walk in and say, it's like stepping back in time. So that's what I would tell people. We were really trying to get people to slow down, relax, enjoy the moment with their friends and family, take a seat, have a cup of coffee served in a glass mug or a teapot, and just really slow down, get back to the basics and just the joy of having something warm for a minute.
So whether you're a history buff, a coffee lover, or simply someone who appreciates a place with heart, Enlisted Coffee is worth the trip because here in Waterford, the past is very much alive. And it comes with a really good latte.
Are you looking for something fun to do this weekend? Then you don't want to miss the Wattsburg Snofest on Saturday, February 7th. We're bringing the excitement to the Erie County Fairgrounds with snowmobile racing you won't want to miss. All hosted by the Junior Fair Board. If you're racing, registration runs from 11 to noon and the races kick off at 1 p.m. sharp. It's just $20 per class, so bring the sled and bring the heat. If you're not racing, come out anyway, cheer on the riders, enjoy the action, and be part of an awesome winter event right here in our community. If you want more details, you can find the Facebook event by searching Wattsburg Snofest. So grab your friends, bundle up, and head to the Erie County Fairgrounds for Wattsburg Snofest this Saturday. We'll see you there. From learning about an upcoming event, making beach glass jewelry, and loving our local businesses. That's what today is all about. Thanks for joining us as we explore the people and the places that make our community shine. I'm Tia Porter, and we'll see you next time on Our Erie.